What's going on, conscious creators? Welcome back. It is Cosmic Christos, and today you guys will be getting the tea. Yes, the tea, alongside with the secrets to personal development. Yes, today's discussion will be the secrets to personal development, and we're also going to discuss my personal background story. And I'm doing this just to give you guys insight, to build the relatability so you guys can see that I'm human. I'm not perfect, nor do I think that I'm perfect. I've made mistakes, but my mistakes have turned into lessons that I want to share with other individuals to help them guide through life so they don't have to make the same mistakes. So today I'm just going to be sharing some of the secrets that I've noticed through my journey of personal development and how I feel that they can also help you. So let's get into it. My journey of personal development has been anything but linear. I faced adversity, moved across states, explored faith, and wrestled with my identity. Each experience shaping me in ways I couldn't imagine at the time. But what is personal development really? And what does it matter? Let me take you on a journey, a peace of mind, and show you how it all connects. What is personal development at its core? Personal development at its core is the process of becoming the best version of yourself. It's not about perfection, but progress, learning, growing, and evolving. So to me, as I stated in previous videos, self-awareness is the foundation. It's what you have to start and begin with, because if you don't have self-awareness, then you really don't have an authentic voice. It's interesting because since that video that I released almost a month ago, I've been coming across so many interviews with people all saying the same thing. And these are new interviews. Some interviews are just interviews that pique my interest, but I'm seeing just how the universe will continue to confirm what you are saying is absoluteness. And that's why I do feel as though it's important for me to expound on the 5 foundational principles of becoming a conscious creator, because to me, that's what really makes a conscious creator different than just being a content creator. You're putting a lot more intention in the way that you want to spark someone's interest. To me, self-awareness is being aware of how you influence the world, and also just being aware of how you can help others around you grow as well. For me, it started with self-awareness, asking those big, uncomfortable questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What's holding me back? When I started to explore those questions through meditation and journaling, I began to see myself more clearly. Then there's skill building. It's about actively working to improve different areas of your life, whether it's learning to manage emotions, improving communication, or even developing practical skills like time management. For me, researching topics I'm curious about has been a skill rooted in my upbringing, and it continues to serve me today. Lastly, spiritual reflection, taking the time to connect with something bigger than yourself, whether that's through religion, mindfulness, or just being in nature. For me, it's been a mix of all 3. Reflection helps me make sense of life's challenges and align my actions with my purpose. We cannot become what we truly want by remaining what we are. Max Dupree. Personal development shapes us in 3 ways: our beliefs, our perspectives, and our trajectories. For me, as I said before, it started with spirituality. And that's why I say it really starts with what you believe. And not even just spirituality, but really just your ethics, your values, what your family instills in you. And to me, this still goes back into spirituality or religion, because to me, that's where a lot of people get their ethics and their values. So in turn, that's instilled in you. So whatever your parents may believe or have a perception around, it's in turn passed down to you, whether you like it or whether you don't. But it's up to you to take on that belief or not. And I think this is where we can really make the difference within our bloodline, is knowing that, we have a choice. We have a power to say, hey, I want to go in a different direction. And I think that's what really led me on my path of personal development, is just really saying, hey, I think I wanted to just go in a different direction. I want to try something different. I don't want to remain in this stagnation of just doing the same thing. So I feel like beliefs, they really play a huge role in what you can become, because even if you change your beliefs, those beliefs can be more self-limiting beliefs. So I think you have to be real mindful of what you choose to believe in, whether that's spiritual or whether that's just a worldly, mundane belief. Ask yourself why you believe these things. I think that's the best part. In reality, is just really just being able to ask yourself, why do I even believe this in the first place? And being able to formulate some type of factual evidence around it, something that can actually bag it, and that's where a lot of new discoveries are made. I feel like that's just the approach that we have to have when it comes to personal development, is doing the inventory check and just asking ourselves, why do we believe the things that we believe? Why do we have this belief about money? Why do we have this belief about marriage, or why do we have this belief about religion? It could be anything. So that's really the inventory check that I'm challenging you all to take on today. It also has a lot to do with our trajectories. I think a lot of times, if you remain stagnant in a particular belief, then you're really setting yourself back for the next 10 to 15 years. And I feel as though like I fell victim to that. Like I feel as though some of my beliefs were very limiting and they held me back for some years. And I'm now playing catch up in a way, not necessarily, but in my own world, I'm playing catch up. However, the trajectory, meaning that we could have gotten to a destination a lot more faster had we made better choices, had we had better discernment, had we had a better set of beliefs. This is why I think it's important to be mindful of what we're taking on, even as we continue to grow through life. That's what happened to me. As I grew, I adapted to other beliefs, and those beliefs in turn shaped my trajectory as well. So that's why I say beliefs, perspectives, and trajectory. Your beliefs act as the foundation for your life. When I began to question old beliefs, like the idea that I had to fit into a certain mold to be accepted, it completely changed how I showed up in the world. Letting go of limiting beliefs is powerful. Then there's perspective. Moving to Los Angeles taught me that sometimes you have to leave the familiar behind to truly grow. Changing your environment can shift how you see the world and yourself. Finally, personal development determines your trajectory. Small changes compound over time. For example, when I started meditating at 20, I had no idea it would lead to the discipline I have today. Every small step counts. Why lacking personal development is a disservice. Lacking personal development is a disservice because then you underperform your potential. We're all born into life with certain gifts, talents, and then we develop those into skill sets over time. When you don't develop yourself, they don't even become skills, they just remain talents. I think I see that a lot today. A lot of people who are very talented in what they do, but they haven't committed to actually developing themselves. And that development can come through curiosity, through exploration, through pondering, reflection. But if you never spend the time to do that and you're doing everything but that, then you don't really develop them into the sharp swords that they can become. So I think that this is why it's essential to become more engulfed in your personal development. Some ways that you can do that is just really just immersing yourself in your passions, your interests, and blocking off everything else. And I think that a lot of times we just fall victim to distraction. Like this is something that I've been seeing so much just being out in the world, where it's like we just are so eager to give our attention away. I don't know why that is, but like just the idea to just take out your phone, look at who's texting you, go straight to social media, you're just giving your attention away for free. Like it means nothing. That's your time. So I think that when we become a lot more reserved with that energy, then we can become a lot more intentional in the way that we develop ourselves on a day-to-day basis, from habit to habit. And I don't mean to be a person that's like, you can't have any fun at all. But I think that when you are playing catch up to a degree, when you are seeing the world is evolving a lot more faster, then yeah, there needs to be a sense of urgency, a sense of importance on what you're dedicating your time to. When we don't grow, we stay stuck in the same patterns, whether that's toxic relationships, poor habits, or limiting beliefs. I saw this in my own life when I avoided big social settings as a teen. It created social anxiety that I had to work hard to overcome later. Without self-awareness, we miss the opportunities right in front of us. There's a quote I love. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. If you're not growing, you're not preparing, and you're leaving so much on the table. Lastly, it's not about you. When you neglect your growth, it affects the people around you, your family, your friends, your community. As a father, I've seen firsthand how my growth benefits my kids. They learn from what I do, not just what I say. Let me share a bit of my journey with you. Every chapter of my life has taught me something valuable. My journey of personal development has really been interesting. And I really feel as though it started with my childhood, from being raised in Detroit, Michigan, into a household of 3 other siblings, my parents being married, my mom being religious, my dad just really being spiritual, being middle class in a low income neighborhood. There was a lot of paradoxes growing up for me. And I think that that's what made me really kind of like mind boggled, I should say, because I really didn't know what path I wanted to pursue. And I think through my early observation, it made me a lot more curious. So when the time came for me to become the adult, I took it a lot more serious. And I think that that's why I'm in the position that I'm in today, because I took my life so serious to a degree that I didn't even have fun. I didn't even embrace the growth that I was experiencing. I grew up in a Christian household with a mother who was a teacher. Discipline wasn't optional, it was a way of life. Being the youngest of four taught me resilience because, trust me, I had to hold my own. When my parents divorced, my life flipped. At 13, I moved with my father to Newport News, Virginia. This was a time of solitude for me. I spent my lunch breaks in the library, exploring blogs about sneakers and mixtapes. It was here I discovered my love for research and reflection, but I also developed social anxiety from avoiding larger settings. At 20, a book called The Open Mind, Wise Mind introduced me to meditation and journaling. I began asking myself deep questions. Who am I? What's my purpose? This marked the beginning of my self-awareness journey. In 2013, I converted to Shia Islam. It was less about religion and more about structure, discipline, and community. Those 6 years taught me humility, charity, and the power of spiritual practice. In 2019, I moved to Los Angeles. It was a leap of faith, a fresh start after challenges in Detroit. Managing properties here taught me a lot about people and myself. I learned my strengths, like fairness and adaptability, but also my weaknesses, like setting boundaries. So in a nutshell, my personal development journey taught me how to always just seek evolving, always be willing to change, always be adaptable, never be content in just one state of being unless it fulfills you. And the reason why I say that is because we're all striving for fulfillment and contentment. And I don't think that there's a problem with finding either or. It needs to be authentic to who you actually are, though. And I think that for me now, where I'm at, I'm really authentically who I am. And it's through my journey of personal development, allowing myself to take on different religions, different beliefs, not really subscribing to the judgment of my own character or the confusion people thought that I had, but just really knowing where I wanted to go, knowing what I wanted out of life, knowing the questions that I needed answers to. I think that that's what really has made me the individual I am today. So I would just say, like, my upbringing, it just made me resilient, to a degree, a little insensitive to pain. And I think that that's what really made me want to become more spiritual in essence, is to be able to feel and uncover the pain that I knew that I was suppressing, and being able to release it, to forgive, to evolve, and continue the journey. While spiritual reflection is important, spirituality is the foundation of becoming a conscious creator. It's the foundation of being authentic. It's the foundation of connection. I just feel as though, like, you really have to focus on your spirituality and ground yourself every day in your spirituality and be true to it. Reflect on how you treat people. Reflect on how you treat yourself. Reflect on how you talk to yourself. Self-reflection is so important. And I feel like even every day, I'm getting deeper and deeper into self-reflection, because, like, the more we turn up the volume of personal development, the faster that we start to excel. And the more that we spiritually reflect, the more insights that we get, the more revelations that come to us. And I feel as though that's what's been happening to me over the past couple of years, is the more that I've turned up the dial on spiritual reflection, my life, the religions that I explored, the teachings that I've learned, it's brought a lot more awareness and connection to all of the things that are going on even right now today. When I think about the two books that stand out, The Open Mind, Wise Mind, and Boundaries, I realized that they came to me at the right time for a reason. Life was guiding me, even when I didn't see it. I've learned that many of the challenges I faced were generational. Narcissistic tendencies, unresolved trauma, they're passed down. Spiritual reflection has helped me break those cycles for myself and my kids. Principles like discipline, discernment, and forgiveness are the backbone of my growth. They're not just lessons, they're tools I use every day. Personal development is a lifelong journey, and it looks different for everyone. But the key is to start. As Max Dupree said, we cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. Take a moment to reflect. What's one thing you can do today to grow just 1%? Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's having a hard conversation. Maybe it's picking up that book you've been avoiding. Start small, but start, because your future self will thank you for it.